Hi, Anton. More essays, good. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. The first one is about advertising, unethical and unacceptable. Let's see what you said. Nowadays, many people have debated whether unethical advertisement is acceptable for modern society or it should be removed. It should, here we go, be removed entirely. Some believe that unethical advertisement, they should probably have an S, can grab more attention. However, you need some sort of linker here that shows contrast. However, I strongly agree. Personally, I strongly disagree. This essay will analyze both issues using examples from surveys to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, fine. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that unethical advertisement, you know what? The word you want here is not advertisement, because advertisement is an actual example, like a commercial or an ad in a magazine. That's an advertisement. What you're trying to talk about here is the actual field, which should be referred to as advertising. Okay, so let's try it again. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that unethical advertising can have a strong impact on people's subconscious to buy alcohol or even become more aggressive. The central reason behind this is twofold. Usually after twofold like this, I prefer a colon or a semicolon or even maybe a full stop. Firstly, the enormous amount of repeated... All right, you know what? This isn't a full sentence. Look, there is no verb here. Okay, so that means that you either need to put a verb in here or you need to attach it to something else. You know what you could have said here? There are two central reasons behind this, and one of them is the repeat. Okay, but that's still not a reason. So we have to really change this entire structure. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to follow the C2 structure, but sometimes you're going to need to make some adjustments because not every single way that you may decide to develop the argument may fit into it. Okay, so for example here, the central reason behind this is twofold. So then stop. One reason, okay, or maybe one example is repeated advertising of alcohol. And that's a full sentence, and that makes more sense. For instance, recent research from Ukrainian's Social Institute indicates that people are more willing to buy alcohol after watching such commercials. Secondly, violence in advertising. When instead here, again, it's not a clause, so you should have said something different like, secondly, as far as violence in advertising is concerned, research of psychologists indicates that people try not to avoid such situations, but recreate them. But recreate them in real life, like high-speed driving or robbery. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that unethical advertising has a negative impact on society. Okay, so you're basically, what I wanted here was maybe one more sentence saying something like, it's clear that, here we go. Here's some sort of a link that, after people see these advertisements kind of glamorizing this unethical or this illegal behavior, people are drawn to do these things more. On the other hand, there is a case for unethical advertisement preventing accidents. This is largely because of social commercials. These are actually called public service announcements about safety on roads, despite violent scenes, in such advertisements. For instance, an extensive study by Road Safety Department showed that social advertisements, again, they're called public service announcements, about road safety reduce the amount of accidents to 25%. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that some ethical advertisements have a positive influence on people. You never told me why you're calling these unethical. Why? Because they show violence? Okay, but that doesn't necessarily make them unethical. Okay, just because they show violence, I mean, there's a reason behind it. The violence that they're trying to show is educational. So maybe what you should have done here is defined what you mean by an unethical advertisement. And that's totally appropriate to do. You could start off by saying, like, for example, unethical advertising is any advertising that shows scenes that are socially deemed inappropriate or unacceptable. Okay, and then at least you have a definition. So in this case, yeah, violence is something unethical. Okay, so from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that despite some positive aspects of unethical advertising, it should be completely removed from all media. Okay, so the order of your paragraphs needs to be altered. This is the paragraph that needs to go closer to the conclusion, and this is the one that needs to go first because you support this one. And we always put the paragraph that we support last. Okay, so you have some good things happening in your essays, but there is some more work we have to do. Alrighty, so let's take a look at now at your letter. Albion, okay, your absence. Let's see what you said here. Dear Sir, Madam, I am writing in response to your letter from September 1st, 2018 about my absence from the exam. I was absent from the exam. Yeah, that's better. I apologize for any inconvenience regarding my absence without any reason. Full stop. There's too much stuff going on in this sentence. Stop. My name is Anton Resnick. My student number is 12345, and my case number is 5. Okay, you've got a list here. So when you have a list, before the last piece of the list, you have to put an and. First of all, comma, I would like to explain what happened. The day before the exam, I got sick and called a doctor to my home. I was advised by the doctor to stay at home for 3 or 4 days, but unfortunately he forgot to give me a sick leave. However, the doctor can prove it if you need. I don't understand what you mean here by in fact, that I missed my exam. I think maybe you might mean something like, due to the fact that I missed my exam, I would like to inquire whether it is possible to resit it. Once again, my apologies for the inconvenience caused. Thank you in advance for considering this letter. I look forward to hearing a reply from you as soon as possible. Faithfully yours, Anton Resnick. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, keep it yours faithfully when you don't know the name of the person. Okay, yours faithfully, I would have preferred. And one other thing, take a look at number 4 here. Possible resolutions to consider. How many resolutions did you come up with? You came up with 1, resitting the exam. How many does it ask you to write? Well, it doesn't say, but it does tell you more than 1. How does it do that? Because it made it plural. It said resolutions. So that means it doesn't want you to give just 1 resolution. It wants you to give at least 2. So that's what you need to do. You need to come up with 1 other resolution. Maybe the school could have used your previous coursework as basis for the exam. Maybe they would allow you to resit the exam next semester. Okay, there were other resolutions that you could have considered that you needed to include here. Alrighty? On the whole, though, it was fine. It was a pretty good job. Okay, so Anton, now what you need to do is correct these essays. Don't forget your error correction list, of course, and your new essays. We'll be here waiting for them. Good luck, and I can't wait to see your next assignments.